And we will hear from Ed Ogeron as he met with the SEC teleconference this morning and started with some good news on the injury front, talking about a couple of guys he expects to be back in Chase and Hines and Armani Goodwin.
We had a very good practice yesterday. A lot of guys were back from injuries. Armani Goodwin is ready to play. Jason Hines was ready to play. So it looked like that we had a very spirited practice, ready to go for Alabama.
And that's good to hear that Jason Hines is back on the offensive front. And Armani Goodwin, we talked about him a lot early on and just hadn't been able to see him on the field. That's a guy who's got the speed to stretch anybody sideline to sideline and is kind of a home run hitter, and hopefully they can get the ball in his hands this weekend.
Yeah, he's just been banged up all year. I got excited that I think it was Central Michigan game. He had one around the edge. He just looked like he had a different burst to him, and then he got up a little gimpy. And then ever since then, he hasn't quite had the same burst all year. So I'm excited to see if he can, pop some runs. I thought we couldn't pop a run, and I watched the Kentucky game, watched the Florida game, and started getting excited. So I think you put Goodwin in that mix, maybe he can pop a few.
So it was just Ty Davis-Price a couple of weeks ago. That was about all they had healthy. Now it appears that they've got Armani Goodwin back. Trey Bradford is healthy and eligible. He can play. So you insert Corey Kiner in there as well, and you've got some more guys that you can use. He talked about how Goodwin and Bradford may be a little bit different guys.
Yes, yesterday was the first day with them, but we ran some specific plays with both of those guys. They look very good. They've got some springs. They got some fresh legs. There's some things that they do specific that we're going to run some specific plays with them, so it's going to help us.
And they got to run the football against Alabama. Ogeron talked about that.
We have to. We're going to have to run the football. We have to be 50-50. We can't be one-dimensional. Obviously, it's always tough sledding against Alabama. They're so good up front, and they're so well coached. But we have a challenge, but we have to run the football.
Alabama's given up rushing yards this year. They gave up a lot of rushing yards to Florida. A&M ran it on them. And we've seen that over and over again with this Alabama front. They've gone a little bit lighter. They're going with more pass rushers. They're disruptive, and they've still been a pretty good defense. But running the ball is what teams have done.
Yeah, that's exactly what teams have done, and they have chinks in the armor on that defense. This isn't a lights-out defense you've seen of saving errors. You see Tennessee have success on them. You see Florida have a ton of success on them. Obviously, Ole Miss didn't, but some of these teams are able to make plays on that defense. And so I think for LSU, I think you got to start fast again, give this defense a break, try to keep this defense off the field. Just with all the injuries you have, you don't want these guys out there for 70, 80 plays. It's just going to get ugly. So the best recipe for that is trying to get this run game going. I know it's going to be a tall task, but that's the only way you're going to have a chance in this game.
Talked about the different traits that LSU's got in the backfield now.
Well, they're good zone runners. They got patience. Kevin's done a great job. We run some gap plays. They know how to run them. Armani is really quick. He's elusive. He's got some quick feet. He can make you miss in the hole. He can run inside, outside. Trey Bradford's got some good breakaway speed. He's a track guy, but he has good size. The outside runs with those guys are very, very favorable to some players like that because they can have breakaway speed. So each of them have different things, but Ty's our running back. We're going to need him to have the type of game that he had against Florida.
I don't know if he's going to run for 280, but that'd be nice. So that was the positive stuff to get Goodwin back, get Bradford back, get Hines back. The negative was that he says Cordell Flott is very doubtful. So you're going to go to Alabama with a defensive backfield with no Derek Stingley, no Eli Rex, no Cordell Flott, no Major Burns. It's a tall order.
It's a very, very, very tall. It's a huge gulp of water you're going to try to swallow here in Bryant-Denny on Saturday. Just not what you want to see, man, especially with Bryce Young, playing the way he's been playing this season. That dude's on fire. He's finding those receivers. Mechie looks like an all-American right now. They look good. Robinson on the outside, Robinson in the backfield. They got some stuff over there, so it's going to be a tall task. But I think for us this week, you got to get Max to play well, and you got to get this run game going. If you can do that, maybe you have a chance. But if not, it's going to be a ton of Bryce Young having a field day.
So Ed Ogeron spoke with the teleconference and the assembled media there about how you handle a secondary that has essentially none of its projected starters back.
Combination of both. We have to play our defense. We've been playing that all season. That's what our guys know. And but we have to put in a couple of new wrinkles. That's what we found in our self scout. So there'll be a couple of new wrinkles, but we got to play with the guys we have, and they got to step up. And Cam Lewis and Darren Evans and all those guys got to step up, and I know they will.
He knows they will. I'm not quite as confident. It's just you're just too outmanned, and I don't know how if you are if you're Durante Jones, if you're Corey Raymond, how do you handle a secondary that's essentially got nothing left?
Bend but don't break. That's what you got to do in weeks like this. Try to get some turnovers, bend but don't break. Obviously, the manpower isn't anything close or remotely close to what you had going into this season. So you got a ton of guys out there who really didn't expect to play much. You got transfers from Nicholls State out there playing DB. It's just not the guys you would expect to be out there for LSU defense. So it's a tall task. Maybe you can get a strip sack. Maybe you can get a turnover and keep this game interesting. But it's going to be very tough, man. And with these young guys out there, I don't see things changing much schematically. I think you're going to see some of these same vanilla looks. Maybe they sprinkle something in here and there, but to me, I think that's the craziest thing for them to totally switch strategies for Mississippi State and be able to get that game plan in and get those guys to, be committed and locked in and focused for that game plan. You would think that they'd be able to put more stuff in throughout this year, but I just have not seen it to this point.
I don't know that I've ever disagreed with a post in the Bayou 4 chat on the 1045 ESPN YouTube page more than Bilbo Baggins' recent post there that says LSU beating Bama this weekend would be better than the 2019 season.
Oh no! First off, how you be barely getting to a bowl game, probably the Independence Bowl. So
hey, easy on the eyeball, easy on the eyeball.
Okay, easy on the eyeball. Okay, let's do Monarchy Carker Bowl.
There you go. Make fun of the Liberty Bowl. Make fun of the Birmingham Bowl. That's the Belt Bowl. You can have at it. Not the eyeball. Off limits on this show.
Okay, so you beat Bama. You're feeling really great about yourselves, and then you find yourselves in the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl. So that'd be no, Bilbo. I gotta disagree with you on that one.